Most of you aren't transphobic. You're just confused. Honestly, I don't blame you. Because the loudest voices you hear aren't the real ones. They're not mine. They're not most trans women. And that's the problem. Here's what being trans actually is. I wake up. I get dressed. Not because it turns me on. It's just getting dressed. The same way you do. Being called she doesn't give me a thrill. It's just a pronoun. My identity. Day in, day out. Boring, normal human. Wearing men's clothing makes me feel like I'm wearing a costume and like I'm lying about who I actually am. You know, that's it. That's the whole thing. No performance, no fetish, just existing as me. And here's what trans is not. You know, it's not men putting on panties for sexual gratification. It's not people flashing strangers for attention. It's not a kink, a trend. It's not a way to rack up social media views. But here's the thing, these people exist. They do. Men who perform femininity for shock value, for dopamine hits or for fetish content. And they hide behind the trans label to dodge criticism. They're not trans. They're just men with a cross-dressing fetish. They use our identity as a shield. They're frauds. And frauds fight the loudest to protect their lies. You know, and it's destroying us. Because when you see those people, the ones making everything sexual, the ones demanding attention, the ones acting entitled, and you think that's what all trans women are. You think we're all performing, all lying, all predatory. We're not. Most trans women want exactly what you want. To live quietly, to be left alone, not to have our existence turned into a political circus. But we don't speak up much. We're tired, we're scared, and honestly, we just want to live. So the fraudsters, they dominate the conversation. And you're left thinking, that's all we are. Let me be clear about something else. You're not transphobic for having dating preferences. You're not a bigot because you're attracted to certain bodies, certain features. Your brain's wired the way it's wired. That's not hate, it's just being human. We don't call lesbian bigots for not sleeping with men. We don't call straight men monsters for not being attracted to other men. So why would we call you transphobic for not wanting to date a trans woman? We shouldn't. Most of us don't. The people telling you you're evil for having boundaries, they're not helping trans people. They're manipulating you with guilt. And it makes all of us look entitled and unreasonable. You know, 8 billion people, I think, the planet's got now. I'm pretty sure it does not matter that a bunch of guys don't want to date trans women. You know, here's what I actually believe. Trans women aren't biologically identical to women. We know that. I know that. But we're not men either. And honestly, we have the same concerns as you do. We don't want predatory men in our spaces either. We don't want people exploiting the trans identity for harm. We're just as angry about it as you are, maybe more, because it's our lives getting destroyed in the process. So here's what I'm asking. Stop assuming the worst of us based on the loudest, the most unhinged voices online. They don't represent us. If you're worried about predators, so are we. Let's focus on the actual problem. People who exploit this issue for harm, not trans women just trying to exist. And if you've been told that you're a monster for having boundaries, for asking questions, for not understanding everything perfectly, you're not. You're just human. Most of us aren't your enemy. We're just tired of being caught in the crossfire of a culture war we never asked to fight. We're not identical, but we're not the enemy either. Let's stop letting the frauds and the extremists speak for us all.